the system in the UK and introduced the idea that privatization is a good thing for the people. The idea being that the market knows better how to reduce costs than the state. The first step was to say, how much are you paying for your electricity? You pay 50 quid per, I don't know how many kilowatt hours. We're going to cap it. We're not going to allow the price to go beyond what you're paying. And then we're going to privatize, and we will allow competition to bring it down. If it brings it down, you gain, consumer. If they don't succeed, they are still capped at 50. So you've got nothing to lose, you only have things to gain. That was a very powerful argument. If you add to that the fact that they were giving away shares to the people, who then, of course, sold them to the oligarchs, it was impossible to stop privatization. Second phase was to say, but who am I, as a politician, to be deciding the cap of the maximum price? Why should politicians decide that? Let the market do it. Instead of having ministers deciding the maximum price, we're going to simulate a market. We can't have a market when it comes to electricity. Why can't we have a market when it comes to electricity? If there were, 30, 50 different cables, electrical cables coming into your home, and you could choose which one you're going to take your electricity from, then it would be a market. Then it would be some kind of competition between different providers. But of course, it would be stupid to have 50 grids going through every house and every street in every country. So this one, they simulate the market. And how do they do that? They say, okay, we're going to split electricity company in at least 3 parts. First will be power generation. So each power plant becomes a company or is owned by some company that may own more than one. And these companies compete with one another in the wholesale market to provide the system with a wholesale price. The second part is the network, the grid. That belongs to another company. And then there is the part where electricity leaves the grid to go into your home. And that's where you create electricity providers who compete with one another in the market of buying the electricity from the grid, which has bought it from the producers, and then selling it to consumers. You simulate competition between the producers. They produce the wholesale price. And then you have providers who are competing with one another to allow competition to shrink the distance between the wholesale price and the retail price. That was phase 2 of privatization. And this is what is now prevailing in the European Union. They copied the Thatcherite phase 2 model. When you simulate a market, you need to have government-imposed rules, simply because you don't have a real market. You have a government pretending, simulating a market. When it comes to a proper auction and you've got people selling stuff, you would expect that the company or the person offering the lowest price wins, right? No. In this market, the company offering the highest price wins. And then the price is the same for everybody, as long as the sum of the electricity that they have provided is no more than a certain amount, which is what the market demands. It's madness. And then, supposedly, the providers compete with one another to reduce the retail price to that maximum wholesale price. Now, if this sounds complicated, it is because it was intended to be complicated, so the citizens of Europe do not understand that this is a scam against them, even during the good times. Proof of that is that since privatization, the difference between the cost of producing an average kilowatt hour and the retail price has trebled. So don't believe anyone who tells you that the problem has nothing to do with the system. The problem is that the cost of production is going up. Yes, the cost of production is going up because the price of natural gas is going up. But that does not explain why the profit margins of the firms is getting larger. Are we clear on this? I spoke in the Greek parliament and I exposed a scam of the Greek government. We presented in Parliament a proposal on how to shield consumers from skyrocketing prices. What we said was this: it is crazy that because the price of electricity produced from natural gas is skyrocketing because the price of natural gas is skyrocketing. It's crazy, mad, that electricity coming out of solar panels, which costs nothing to produce, once you have the solar panel, it is free. That the private company that is selling solar-produced kilowatt hours should get for that kilowatt hour the same price that it would get had it produced it from the most expensive natural gas. It is mad, right? All you need to do is to eliminate these super profits. I mean, how did I understand that it's a scam? Because they don't tell you. Footnote 3.8, this is where the scam is. You've got to do some detective work. Decipher it yourself. The first inkling we had that this is a scam is when it mentioned that the daily auction for the wholesale price